Yeah, it's got to be huge. That's one of his things he was concerned about. He's like, he was afraid that we were going to charge them extra fees because once we see how much money they make. So it's like, come on, we're all professionals. We're not lawyers, for Christ's sake.
Tell him that.
Yeah, I'll tell him that today, right?
He might have a good sense of humor
Listen,
about it.
come on, we're not lawyers.
I mean, no shit. And like, yeah, like you guys just popped up overnight. Like,
Yeah.
oh, we're gonna get rich off of Ken Allen.
Right.
You've been doing this shit for decades.
Mm-hmm.
I
Right.
mean, yeah, it'd be nice to have Ken Allen, but you also
Right.
don't need him.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
that's just a weird.
Well, you guys know how it is. It's funny how when somebody says they're fee conscious,
Feet
then you
conscious.
take a bet. You let them. They're not priority, but then they're not a priority when they want to be a priority. They're like, well, how come I'm not a priority? Well, because you said you don't want to run up the bill, so I'm going to get everybody else who wants to pay first, and then when
Right.
you're next in the pecking order, you're not as important as you think you are, right?
That's how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, how important is your work
Right.
to you? How important
Exactly.
is it to be to me?
Exactly.
Yeah. No
So
shit.
right.
I'm curious. And I'm just curious too if he's like, yeah, like how he is in person. Is he like this, typical, egotistical,
Mhm,
whatever,
mhm,
or is he
mhm.
just like, hey, yo,
Yeah. Right.
you have fun, Ken?"
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Right.
Okay.
Right,
All right.
right.
I'm gonna want a full breakdown. Okay.
Okay.
Are we done?
Yeah, we're good.
You're good.
Mhm.
Okay. I know you probably looked over this a
Yes.
little bit.
Yep.
and-
Yep. Yep.
So, yeah, I'll just ask you some questions. We'll talk. Look at me.
Yep.
Not to the camera.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Okay. And obviously we're talking succession planning in general, and then we'll be talking about you guys and
Sure.
your business. So, if you were to describe succession planning or explain it in like the lowest common denominator to someone very simple, how would you describe it?
Succession planning is determining how you want your business to succeed you as a business owner. Whether you want that to go to your kids, your family, or to a key person in your business. Most business owners don't want to make that decision when they're, of sound mind to make that decision of how they want their business to progress because they're just worried about the day-to-day operations. We always encourage our clients to think ahead. Your business is going to succeed you, hopefully. We don't want it just to be when, upon your demise, the business just closes. You have to think forward.
Yeah, because demise obviously being the end game, but we were talking with Joe, and he was mentioning if you get hurt, if something happens to you, God
Sure.
forbid, is there even some sort of contingency plan of who's going to step in
Absolutely.
and run it?
Absolutely.
So is it because you have to kind of think about yourself as mortal and about unpleasant?
Oh, absolutely. And it goes in your day-to-day operations. It's always easier and faster and more efficient for you to do things yourself. But you have to start training people below you to do the things that you do on a daily basis for, God forbid, something would happen to you. Whether you get hurt, like you said, or if, you have to go on vacation and there's a key decision that needs to be made when you're gone, you need to have confidence in people that you work with that they can carry on those operations without you for a short period of time or when you're ready to leave upon an extended period of time. And and sustain the profitable business that you've worked so hard to create. You just don't want it to go away.
Sure. I mean, it's a lot like we talk about making that decision to have a CPA as your partner and as an advisor in the business. If you're able to kind of forward think that much and you have a good CPA, that CPA is probably your number one person to help you get the succession plan going, right?
Absolutely. I mean, the business owner and the people that work in that industry know their specific industry. Our job is to help them understand how the financials support, what they're doing in their business. So to have a CPA that you can rely on to understand your business and to help you explain the numbers behind the actual product that you're delivering to people is crucial.
Sure, especially, if you think about the sale or even the transfer of the business, you need some sort of value for what you've created.
Absolutely.
And the CPA is.
And as you're succeeding in business or looking to sell a business, to the extent that you can provide information to a potential buyer or to a potential successor that helps make that business operation seamless transition, the better value you're going to have for your company, because they're going to have an idea that, hey, I know I have confidence in these numbers. I know these numbers are accurate. I know that the due diligence was put in all along through the force. So it should be an easy transition to me if I'm in a specific industry that I understand my industry. If I have confidence that the numbers support my knowledge of what I'm doing on a daily basis, there's no doubt in my mind that it's a sound decision for me to make to take over that business or to make any important decision to continue that operation.
How do you, I guess, keep the momentum going with the day-to-day of the business as you kind of succession plan and have that focus as well? Is that a difficulty business owners experience?
I think you have to get both parties involved so that both are on the same page and that the person that's going out is making decisions that not only benefit them but also benefit the business in the future. And you want the two to work in tandem so that everybody's on the same page and that the decisions are being made that are going to be mutually beneficial to both parties in the long run.
When it comes to family transitions, and you guys have experience with this
Sure.
personally, is it hard to, as a successor to a business yourself, is it hard to say, hey, Dad, I need to see the numbers, or I have questions about what's going on? Does it make it harder because you're a family?
Absolutely, because you, as a family business, in our business, there's always, you have to learn to separate the family life from the business life. And when you're in the office and when you're at work, there's a business that needs to be done, so you need to separate the emotions and not be hurt, have the hurt feelings of certain things. But it's okay to ask for the information, and you have to do it. You have to encourage people to do it in a way that's respectful, because obviously the predecessor is the one that laid the foundation for your success. But it's okay to have disagreements. It's okay to be, we have disagreements all the time in this office, and it's okay as long as it's trying to further the position of the business and not be detrimental to what the current operations are. We've had successful clients that have been able to transition the business successfully, and the child or the employee has picked up where the previous owners left off. And we've had problems where the emotion of the family, the greediness, has taken away from the business aspect, and it's basically run the business in the ground.
Now, a lot of what we've talked about with succession planning over the last several months to a year has been about, just that planning and intent and purpose. So then we sat down with Joe and we were asking him about his own succession plan for his business. And he said, oh, I didn't do anything. I got lucky. He got lucky that you guys chose the career paths that you did and then chose to come back home. Do you feel like it was all luck, or?
If you asked me, 10, 15 years ago if I would be back, probably not. But I think as time of growing in a bigger business world downtown and seeing kind of not in the interaction and dealing with people on a day-to-day basis and not helping how I felt, helping the smaller individual succeed, being around that with my dad for so long, it just seemed like an opportunity where it was something that I could hopefully have some self-fulfillment in doing and gain a broad depth of knowledge instead of being specialized in one specific area like I was in previous careers. So, right now I feel, while there's a lot to learn from my dad still, I feel that my knowledge of just the industry in general, all industries, not even a specific industry, is a lot greater than it was when I worked downtown. And that knowledge is able to acclimate myself to helping clients, where I grew up, hopefully to make this a better area for everyone.
And that's really what it gets down to. I mean, around the time that you came back and started working with your dad's firm and getting involved with that succession plan and this transition that we've been able to see kind of happen.
Sure.
But it was around the same time that you started a family.
Right.
So does that influence your decision as well?
It did. It did. The thought of raising a family in a big city wasn't something that was very appealing, and being able to come back to where I grew up and where my wife grew up, and to provide a better life for our children, hopefully, and give them more area to play and more area to grow, and come back to a newer community for us in Porter County, and to work with the community that I grew up with in Lake County. It's been rewarding for sure, because we've been able to see. I started with my dad in 2008, right when the downturn of the economy, and it was a question of how many businesses are to survive. And the decisions that were made at that time were reactionary to the times. Where my dad's been preaching for 20 years, 30 years, you have to be proactive. You have to have a plan in place, not only for succession of your business, but on dealing with those times where things may be bad. And a lot of the decisions made in 2008 were reactionary. The times have gone bad. What are we going to do? The first thought was, let's cut workers, right? That always wasn't the best decision. It was the reactionary thing that business owners dealt with, because that was the easiest way to cut expenses. But when the economy turned around, they got off to a slower progression in ramping up their operations because they had to retrain and find new workers that they can acclimate. So being able to go through that experience in 2008 and and now that we're in 2016 and being able to coach new clients and existing clients on, not only how do we succeed our business, but how do we plan for those things, plan for those potential downturns, plan for loss of clients, plan those kind of things. It's very much being proactive in our approach than being reactive. We don't want to go to the end of the tax year and surprise, your tax liability is this. You want to know throughout the year that these are the decisions I can make to have a profitable year myself, but also to reduce my tax liability and progress into the next year, progress in the next phase of your life in a profitable way.
Sure. Because of the way that you guys do business, the Lake Shack CPA way of doing business, it's very involved. You're very involved with your clients. You know them very well.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, their families in the area. Do you think that then you have a greater sense for how important succession planning is for the firm to keep going, to keep supporting and sustaining these families in the communities and to help them? I mean, do you think that level of care maybe, is increased because of who you are, what you do, how you were raised?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's, with my dad starting the firm and with Brian and I continuing it, we're not going anywhere. For multi-generational businesses, my dad always likes to laugh. He has the gray hair, which Brian and I both do too, but the business owner, the predecessor listens to my dad, whereas the younger generation kind of follows Brian and myself. And to the extent that we can all work together